Boar's Head invites you to enlighten your senses. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Inspired by Japanese master chefs, our signature teriyaki glaze is crafted with garlic, ginger, and a hint of brown sugar, then paired with our tender, slow-roasted chicken breast for a flavor that's sweet, savory, remarkably bold. Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken, the bold flavor of Japan, now at the deli. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, folks. It's Chris Daly of Jamaicans.com, and this is my privilege to host again a program where we talk to interested in life-changing Jamaicans. To conduct the interview this evening, I have my co-host, Janice Maxwell. Janice Maxwell is a budding entrepreneur in the Internet, and she also is a driver behind Caribbean TV World, and she does several e-zines that you may be aware of. This evening, it's our privilege to have conversation with one of our premier Winter Olympic athletes. It's Mr. Devon Harris. Mr. Harris is one of the original members of 1988 Jamaican bobsled team, and he was the captain of the 1992 and 1998 teams. This makes him a three-time Olympian. Devon achieved his grand dream. His current dream is to inspire others to achieve theirs. Tapping the same energy, determination, and skill that enabled him to bobsled with the world's best. Devon is now sparkling audiences of all ages to dream big and to take their game to the next level. His aspiring story, combined with his sincere desire to enable others to overcome life's obstacles, has turned Devon into a highly regarded and sought-after international motivational speaker and workshop facilitator. He's also published a book called Yes, I Can. Janice, take it away.
Wow, thank you, Chris. Hello, Devon. Welcome to our conversation. How are you?
Dennis. Thank you, Chris. Great to meet you guys. Great to be on the air with you.
Oh, we're just thrilled to have you. You know, the Winter Olympics does not bring the kind of glamour that the Summer Olympics bring, for Jamaica anyway, not until you guys. As a gifted athlete who would compete in many other endeavors, what would draw you to your particular sport?
It's kind of interesting, you know. Like many young athletes in Jamaica, I grew up dreaming of competing in the Olympic Games, of course, the Summer Olympic Games. And back in 1987, at the time I was a young officer at the JDF, was training, hoping that I would be able to get fit enough to qualify to compete in the Seoul Olympics. At the same time, two Americans who lived in Jamaica came up with the idea to start a bobsled team because they discovered that a big part of the sport is the start, and you need sprinters for the start. And, of course, you know, we have tons of sprinters in Jamaica. So they went to the guys on the summer team trying to get them interested in this bobsled idea. They didn't want to do it. So they came to the military looking for athletes, and here I was, and my colonel suggested that I try out for the team. So, in a sense, I did not choose bobsledding. It chose me. You know, I went out and made a team. And as they say, the rest is history.
Okay. And you had said the JDF, for our audience, because we speak not just to Jamaica, but literally the world, could you explain what JDF is?
What the JDF is, it stands for the Jamaica Defense Force. It's obviously it's a voluntary force. Many non-Jamaicans always ask me as well if it's a conscription force, if you have to join the army. And no, it's a totally voluntary force, and it was certainly one of my dreams growing up to be in the JDF and to become an army officer.
I see. Okay. Is there any associations that bring you together with, say, the summer athletes?
No, I have met, I can probably count, I've met only three athletes or four athletes who have ever competed in the Summer Olympics for Jamaica. And it's, just kind of by the way, not at any official function per se. So unfortunately, we don't have a big Olympic kind of reunion in Jamaica where summer and winter athletes, get together.
Interact, I see. How would you address your training regimen? How do you go about preparing for your event when you were a bobsledder?
Well, the training for bobsledding is very similar to what a sprinter does, like a 100-meter or 200-meter runner, where in the off-season, and for us the off-season is summer, you're running, you're lifting weights, you're doing a lot of speed training, a lot of explosive training. Really working to increase your speed so that you can get, and your explosiveness so that in 30 meters you can get the top speed. But in addition to that, we do what we call push training, where you have a makeshift sled on wheels, and you would use that to practice your start. So that's how you prepare in the summer. And then, but by the way, that's not bobsledding yet. That's just preparing to bobsled. So we do all the stuff that a summer 100-meter athletes would do, and then some, of course, because we do the push training. And then in the winter, you get on ice and do actual bobsledding.
I see. There's this Visa commercial. I'm sure you've seen it. So that wasn't. I thought that was just when they were showing the Jamaican athletes pushing the
makeshift sled,
makeshift thing. So I thought that was just a hoax. So is that really how you guys did it?
Yes, if you look, it's kind of funny. Yeah, we have this makeshift sled, and that photo of the original team was taken in Up Park Camp, which is a armor base in Kingston. And we used to practice our push start on this flat concrete surface in front of an old hangar in Up Park Camp. We had this makeshift sled, and it was really too light. I can't remember if it's shown in the Visa commercial, but we put these big rocks on the sled to add weight to make it heavy so that it wouldn't go all over the place when we're pushing it. But that's exactly how we trained in Jamaica
that's
in the
so
summer.
Funny. That is so funny because I was like, okay, but to speak to an actual bobsled, you really did it.
Well, in Jamaica, we have a term. You have to take your hand on fashion, right? So
right. Turn your hand and make fashion. Right?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So we didn't have a real push track. So we improvised. Some Jamaican ingenuity there.
Yeah. So you were saying that you have to be a sprinter. So should we encourage Bolt to maybe look into this sprinting thing on ice?
I think he would be phenomenal. Well, he's phenomenal anyway. He would be absolutely ridiculous behind a two-man bobsled, I think. However, I think some of the guys on the current team met him, and they were doing some shoot for Puma in Jamaica, and he wasn't interested in it because bobsledding was too cold. But here's the thing, honestly. It has nothing to do with both personal, but sprinters, 100-meter sprinters, I tease them all the time because I have other friends who have competed for other countries at high levels. They don't want to do bobsledding. It's too hard. The work is too hard. I mean, in sprinting, the only thing they carry on is their spike. And in bobsledding, they have to lift a 650-pound sled in the cold. That's not as glamorous as charging on the track on a 100-meter race,
Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. How have folks responded to your achievements?
So if I can go back to '88, and when we crashed, we were very dejected, and actually we were so sure that we got the Jamaican people would boo us and shun us, and it was so far from the opposite. People were so accepting. Jamaicans were so proud, and we compete hard, and we have gotten accolades from all over the world. But honestly, the ones that mean the most to us are the ones that come from the people that we are represented, fellow Jamaicans. And they have been, really, really proud. You can't get away from, the jokes and so on, but that's what makes us who we are. But here's an interesting thing. I was just in Vancouver during the Olympic Games, and it's been, 22 years since we're in Calgary, and the thing that struck me the most, honestly, was that our accomplishments in Calgary for many people around the world, and I mean, especially in Europe, but certainly around the world, people who don't even speak English as a first language, it was not just a curiosity for them. What we did actually meant something to them. It really did, and that has really struck me. People have.
And it's also encouraged other countries to think, well, okay, we're in the tropical climate. This isn't for us, and then I'm sure because of what you were able to do, that may have inspired them to send people. Because, say, like the last Olympics, they had like 4 people from Africa, 4 different African countries. So, I mean, that was never going to happen. I mean, a few Olympics back, it just wasn't even thought of. They thought about doing it.
It's wonderful to see, all these athletes from all these, temperate climate countries coming to the Winter Olympics and competing, giving up their best, even if they didn't win a medal. And flattering, humbling to know that we influence that in some way.
Why do you think Jamaicans have always been trailblazers in so many fields?
I think there
like Bolt said.
There is something to be said about, pride and ambition. And we are a proud people.
Yes, we are.
And I think, as ambition goes, we're among the most ambitious in the world as well. But I think we have also been very fortunate to have been left an amazing legacy, and that's just, how I view it. From the days of Nanny and Sam Sharp and Paul Bogle and all those people who we have held up and revered as national heroes, and in my mind, the amazing feat that these people performed to win freedom and to create an identity for ourselves as Jamaican. I think it has really rubbed off on us. And when you're left with such a legacy, the only thing you can do is, when you work to live up to that legacy, the only thing you can do is do amazing things. And if you have a Jamaican doing something amazing in one area of human endeavor, you have somebody else who goes on, I can do this because, John Brown did this. And when you look on sports, we were very fortunate, I believe, that the first time we went to the Olympics, we sent 4 amazing guys. And they, set a trail and left an example that really requires every person who has ever competed in an Olympic team since put on a Jamaican uniform is simply expected to do well. And so you live up to that expectation. I think Bolt and Sherry and Fraser and all the guys from Beijing and Berlin has now set a new standard. But it's the same across, whatever field of human endeavor you see Jamaicans participating and competing in. We just do well, and especially when you take them out of Jamaica and into the wider world, where honestly there are even more opportunities for self-expression and self-growth. You see Jamaicans excelling.
Yeah.
The pride of being Jamaican.
What do you say to youngsters, I should say, or the youth, them, my little patois, who would like to follow in your footsteps?
The first thing I would say to them is that on a study on a book. I cannot harp enough about the importance of education. I know that everybody wants to really become the next big DJ sensation, or the next Bolt or Shelly and Fraser, or, just the next big thing. And I would not be one to say don't pursue those goals, those ambitions, if you have them. But first and foremost is education. And, so I'm known the world over as a member of the original Jamaican bobsled team and so on and so forth. And, of course, I'm very proud of that. And I'm no Rhodes Scholar, but you know what? If there's one thing I'm most proud of is the fact that, when I was growing up and in school, that part of my development was very important to me, and it has continued to serve me well. So that's the first thing. I mean, I cannot emphasize that enough. And then, yes, go as far as you can see.
I see.
And believe me that when you get there, you'll see even further.
You see a lot of athletes, for various reasons, dominate the headlines. What obligation do you think an athlete has to the community beyond excelling at his or her game?
That's a good question. It's in my mind a dicey situation. I personally think or see myself as a role model. And you can't help but be a role model when you are in the public's eye for whatever reason. And so there's a responsibility, I think, to conduct yourself in a way that it will continue to inspire others to be the best that they can be, as you work to be the best that you can be in your craft. The challenge, I think, is that the wider population needs to be a little bit more careful how you hold athletes up, or to be honest, anybody else for that matter in society, how high a pedestal you put them on. Because, you know what, you can't deny that they're human beings, and we are susceptible to making mistakes. We have our own weaknesses, and sometimes, you'll find out about those weaknesses or those transgressions or however you want to characterize it, and it seems as if, wow, this person's failed. But you know what? Like, Tiger Woods is in the news now. Yeah. And, we know him as a golfer. Honestly, he has honed those skills to an incredibly high level, and that's what we know him for. However, I understand that people look up to him, but you can't afford to put him on too high a pedestal because he's only human.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you're on your website. You have a very interesting website. Would you like to tell the community about your book and all the things that's on your interesting website, your interactive website?
Yeah, well, my website, by the way, is devonharris.com. My name, devonharris.com. And so there you'll learn a little bit about my background. I grew up in Olympic Gardens, or as most Jamaicans know, my part of Olympic Gardens as Waterhouse or Firehouse. Because I grew up during a very
Waterhouse is such an interesting place, though, because the majority of the top DJ or singers, it comes out of Waterhouse. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah. It's like that particular, the water, whatever it is, the water or whatever's going on there, a lot of talent's coming out of there. I must say, Waterhouse, I think, I mean, and I may be wrong, but it just seems to me the bulk of Jamaica's, I guess, art community is coming out of Waterhouse.
Well, there's definitely a big chunk of it, and I have no idea why that is, but it is what it is, and that's where life started for me. And so my website speaks a little bit about that. You'll see a few clips of me. So I'm a motivational speaker primarily, and so you'll see a little bit of some speeches there. There's an interesting bit called a Coach's Corner where I have a few clips, motivational clips, that really speak to some success tools that I hope people will, not only enjoy but apply. The website talks about my foundation, the Keep On Pushing Foundation, where we're doing a breakfast program and a school supplies program in Waterhouse. A couple of schools, my old primary school and a couple other schools.
Your primary school? That's wonderful to give back to the community like that. That's very admirable.
Well, one of the things I know, certainly growing up in Waterhouse, is that you can lose hope really quickly. Mm-hmm. And, hope is the lifeblood of possibility. So my goal is to provide some kind of hope for the new generation that's coming up and hopefully provide them with some opportunities as well. And one of the first and most, I think, simple way I can start doing that is by helping the kids, doing what I can to help them to get a good education. Many of them are going to school hungry, so we're providing a breakfast program. And we're actually embarking on an ambitious plan to build a kitchen, a dining facility at the school. And so, I encourage, challenge your listeners to jump on board and support us in any which way you can with that. And, yes, it speaks about my books. My children's book I wrote a couple of years ago, Yes I Can, the story of the Jamaica bobsled team, is a motivational children's book that challenges, encourages kids to dream big, believe big, and to go pursue their dreams irrespective of what others may think or say or do. And my new book, which is coming out June 1st, is they can actually go to the site and download a free excerpt from the book. It's called Keep On Pushing, Hot Lessons from Cool Running. And kind of a semi-autobiographical motivational book that speaks to lessons that I learned from the Jamaica bobsled experience and that I've worked to apply in my life, across different areas.
You have certainly impacted the community, the world. You've given honor to Jamaica once again. You're certainly a role model. We haven't had a lot of Jamaican movies, and Cool Runnings was definitely a popular movie. Mm-hmm. And we definitely appreciate you spending some time with us. To learn more about Devon, as you know, you can visit his website at devonharris.com and learn about the interactive things that's going on there. If you'd like to purchase this book, of course, you can buy it from him, or if you go to JamaicanDiaspora.com and click Caribbean Culture Store. You can also learn other things about what's going on in the Jamaican diaspora from that website. To learn more about Chris Daly and his blog, visit Jamaicans.com, and his blog is called Me Thinking Are You. We definitely enjoyed you spending some time with us, and thanks, Devon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
I definitely enjoyed the time.
Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, water bed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Jimmy John's, America's #1 sandwich delivery, fast Ed speaking. I'm on my way.
I'm in the backyard here, Ed.
Wow, you are fast.
Yes, sir, freaky fast and freaky good. But I gotta say, I've never delivered to a dude in a doghouse.
Well, I'm definitely in the doghouse.
I thought in the doghouse was just an expression, a figure of speech.
Well, the doghouse is a very real place.
How long are you condemned to your canine quarters?
Too soon to tell, but on the bright side...
The doghouse has a bright side?
Yeah, the wife can't throw a lamp this far.
Oh, I guess she's been working out.
Order Jimmy John's sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast. Freaky fresh.